Peace, beloveds, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. This video is going to be so juicy, so good. I feel like this video is going to have layers unlike the other videos before. So let's go ahead and get into Mars and Mars through all of the elements and what Mars signifies within your birth chart. Today I am drinking ashwagandha milk. I really like to utilize herbs for everything that I do because I'm an herbalist, I'm an astrologer. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe down below. We are lit over here. We are learning esoteric knowledge. Welcome again to the Green Vibes channel. So as I was saying, this ashwagandha milk, ashwagandha, a lot of people know to be this adaptogenic herb, which is very powerful when you are building a strong and steady body. And Mars is our masculine energy. Yes, Mars is our masculine energy, and this is the energy that we all need to definitely balance out, hone in. There's been a lot of toxic masculinity going around, and the shoe fits on both ends of men and women and everybody in between. Okay, we need balance to our masculine energy. So I feel like this is the perfect little video because I was like, Mars, like whatever, Mars. Nobody really thinks about Mars, but Mars is super important when you're looking at your birth chart and the transits as well. So go ahead and get comfortable. We have a lot to talk about. Now, this is interesting because I thought about Mars. Usually I think about the planets for a little bit and I channel them. I spend time with the planets. Mars came out like real quick for me. Mars was like, listen, we're just gonna take a knee real quick and write all this down. So these are literally all my notes for Mars, and it all just kind of came out. So I'm really excited to share this with you today. This is going to be a powerful video. Now, I did make a Mars in Cancer through all of the houses video, and I highly recommend you check that out because Mars will be moving into Cancer very soon, and you should just go ahead and check for the transit, how that will affect you. And of course, if you ever need a one-on-one reading, I go into depth with your natal chart. I channel different things for you. It's one thing just clicking on the internet and like reading all these things, but it's another when somebody dives deep into your chart and I know the astrology language. I can definitely help you remember who you are on a deeper level. So book a one-on-one reading with me. The link is always down below, greenvibeswellness.com. Okay, so what does Mars represent? Mars is obviously our masculine, fiery energy. You can see Mars as being Aries energy or the first house energy, which is the house of self, which is the sign of self, creating, starting things, innovating, improving things, seeing where the problem lies, problem solving, all of those things. Your Mars sign is super important in your chart to look at when you want to see what is your willpower, your will to go and get up and do things. Also, what I learned is that Mars can actually indicate your invisibility, how you can become invisible because you're strategizing like a military, right? You're really smart, you're intelligent, so you're strategizing, you're hiding out, you know where to hide, you know how to make allies, you know how to make enemies. It's gonna be hidden enemies that are seen in our Mars placements. Like this is my Mars being exerted right now, right? And my Mars is different because it's in a water sign, and we're gonna go through all of the different elements. We're gonna go through Mars and air, earth, fire, and water. Mine being in a water sign, I'm pretty lazy. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm pretty lazy. But when I'm not lazy, I'm real consistent. Okay, you feel me? So Mars being our sacred masculine, this is how we need to respect the men, honestly, in our lives, is by honoring our own masculine energy. I feel like there's so much toxic masculinity going around because we are all harboring and harnessing this toxic masculine energy within us that needs to be relieved. And especially for women, like we're coming to this place where we realize that the divine feminine within us is so special and sacred and has been wounded and suppressed for a really long time, and now it's rising. But we have to also balance out that toxic masculinity, which has been harming the feminine energy, right? And harming itself because it's harming the feminine, because we're supposed to be working like this together, not like this, right? So when we come into harmony, we're better for each other, and the world can definitely work in a better symbiosis. We have to remember that the feminine has the vision and the masculine has the strength to build it, right? They're the ones who go and get the supplies, build the home, and we can make the house a home. give us the seed and we can plant the garden, you know, things like that. So there's a balance that's very necessary. So I want you to go ahead and think of the masculine energy as the champion, right? If the feminine energy is the prize or if the female is the prize, this is going to be the champion, because we do need to talk about relationships when it comes to Mars, because Mars represents our sex drive and how we like to make love. And for women especially, it's what we like in the characteristics of the man, their physicality, how they look, right? And for men, the Mars sign represents their own masculine energy and how to harness that powerfully and to get through the hard times by tapping into the sign that you were born with. So the champion is somebody who we want in our field. The champion is somebody that we want by our side at all times, protecting us, providing the things that we need. The champion is a champion for a reason, because it protects what is most precious. And if feminine energy is more soft and chaotic, see what I did there? Soft and chaotic. Then the champion needs to be a really solid, grounded container in order to contain and hold and protect that beautiful feminine energy that is within all of us as well. I just need a tea break. So I have this thing with the show Valhalla Vikings. I absolutely love that show. I love watching strong men fight and strong women fight too. Like, don't get me wrong here. You know, Freitas, I love these Freitas. Anyway, this is so important because a key, what they said was the two most important things to make a leader, right? And Mars is trying to lead you through life. That masculine energy wants to lead you to the right places safely. So what makes a great leader? Number one is intelligence, and number two is strength. And neither is better than the other. They are both completely equal in importance. And what makes a great leader is intelligence and strength. So when it comes to astrology, it's really interesting. The signs and the elements have their own strengths and their weaknesses when it comes to Mars. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all of the elements, and just remember these key things. This is your initiative. This is your willpower to really get shit done. If you don't have a sacred masculine in your life that can get a lot of things done for you or help you get things done, then you have to tap in and do it yourself. And if you're a man, you can't overexert yourself all the time tapping into this masculine energy. You can't overexert yourself to the point of frustration, and then you block yourself off from receiving a divine feminine who can balance you out. When we're talking about Mars, we need to go through all the strengths. Intelligence is a strength, emotions are a strength, fierceness and courage is a strength, and physical strength is obviously a strength. And all of these things fit into the elements, which we're going to go ahead and go through right now. Okay, so if you have your Mars in an air sign, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you are one who seeks intelligence. Air signs really like to strategize, and they're really good at being invisible. They are very highly much so intelligent. Mars thrives here, let's be honest. You have the skill to be literally unseen. You can move through a lot of things and hear a lot of things, see a lot of things, observe a lot of things, and be quiet. Like that girl from Encanto. When you have Mars in the air sign, your main goal is to obtain knowledge. You realize that knowledge is power, and you really like to keep it close to you. It's like coming to somebody who has, you know, the book of knowledge, or the library keeper, somebody who has all the crypts and all the secret doors. Like, that's y'all. That's y'all to a T. So knowledge is power for you, and what makes you motivated, what your masculine energy exudes, is really feeling motivated to intellectualize things. If you're a man, this is exactly how you exude your natural masculine energy. And if you're a woman, you really like a man who looks like he's smart, who looks like he's intelligent. That's the kind of man that you're attracted to. You're probably also a sapiosexual, someone who's attracted to the mind and how the intelligence in a person works. That's what really turns you on. Not me having my Mars in the 7th house, air house, like. So if you have this air sign placement in Mars, you know that to have a lot of knowledge is to have a lot of power. People come to seek you. This can also be a little bit dangerous. Like I said before, this can be little enemies. Okay, enemies here. So people who you really like look up to, and like I feel like I'm getting this vision of like people who you're just like starry-eyed at, they could end up possibly betraying you because you're like blinded by their knowledge. knowledge, and like you're blinded by their like your hunger to learn in a way that you end up like betraying yourself or not focusing on your path, but instead like trying to shift to another person's path because of their intelligence. So be on the lookout for doing things like that to sabotage yourself. You definitely don't want to do that. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. So now if you have your Mars sign in a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, you have a lot of power actually. And I realize like people really put Mars and water signs down, but because I also have my Mars in a water sign, I'm not going to put it down anymore. I've seen the strength. I've seen the power that Mars and water signs actually have low key. Like, let's talk about this really quick. Let's talk about this. Okay, so Mars and water sign is a really good manipulator. They can manipulate the out of somebody because they see all of the little emotional subtleties in people. You study people, you feel people. You can literally feel if they're lying to you, if they're trying to manipulate you, what they need, how they're hurting. You know how to get your grasp in pretty deep because water just seeps in deep into all the places that are kind of cracked open, right? So the water seeps into the places that are cracked open. Like, you get that visual? That's crazy. So if you're that, you're collecting more intelligence on how to navigate through these situations and how to move through life in an emotional way, which can be difficult because Mars is so like, you know, we think of Mars being so bold and just like abrasive and aggressive, and water signs do not like aggression. So they're going to sidestep, they're going to find a way to move around everything that's in their way. And that's actually really, really powerful. And if you do have to fight, then you know exactly what buttons to push, the emotional triggers, all of these things within people because you've already obtained that knowledge through your watery instincts, through your psychic instincts. Like Mars in a water sign is literally the divine feminine and the divine masculine, like low key, like, yo, like being, you know, symbiosis, like as long, because what I've learned as a Mars water sign is if I don't listen to my intuition right then and there, I regret it. And I have to realize that my intuition is in a water sign, so it's going to feel like my natural intuition, but this time it's going to be a little bit more forceful. Like, let's go, you're running out of time, you need to do this, you should have picked this up. Like, intuitively getting these downloads, but you have to do it. You got to do it too at the time that that specific intuitive hit comes. So try to differentiate between like your higher self, spiritual guides, and then your Mars sign, which is, you know, emotional as it is. Like sometimes if you don't feel emotionally good, you don't want to do anything. And it really is so offensive when people say, oh, well, F your emotions. I'm like, well, if my emotions are not okay, I'm not okay to do anything. I'm not okay to do anything if I'm feeling really bad. So, you know, and there comes the self-respect through self-evolution, because people will tell you what to do, but you know yourself, and that's how you gain your power, is through respecting yourself. Especially Pisces, Cancer, Pisces, Mars signs, they can just become so manipulated by other people, and like that's not cute. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to do things for yourself. When your intuition tells you, that's all you have to listen to is your intuition. You just listen to yourself. How pleasurable is that? You don't even have to, you're your own leader. Like, we're talking about Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Like, we're our own leaders here. There's no way that somebody can tell us what to do or manipulate us. Like, we manipulate them. We tell them what to do. It's very subtle, but it's through the emotions that we get our point and our feelings across. Because in the end, all that we want is a place to create, a place to feel safe. The goal of Mars in water signs is to feel safe, to feel safety and security, to create a home, to have a container in which to thrive in. That's all that a Mars and water sign really wants when they are manipulating or when they are doing things like that. They just want to feel safe because they're sensitive. For a water sign, what you would be sexually attracted to, your sex drive, this is more nurturing, someone who's emotionally intelligent, somebody who can really like speak to your heart, who does things for you, who's like on time, who's very like reliable. Like water signs need someone who's really reliable, and that way they can trust what the person is going to do or say, take care of them, always being gentle with them. That's somebody who a water Mars sign would be really attracted to. And if you're a man, then you're, you know, emotionally intelligent. That's how your masculine energy comes out. Is like you're very intuitive, you're very sensitive, you're very emotional, and that's your power. Because like I said, you can manipulate, you can do whatever you need to do to get in. Like, you know, you can push people's buttons, you can slide in the cracks when you're at work or something like that, and get to those higher positions. And for a woman, that's what you're attracted to, is someone who can take care of you, you know, contain you and listen to you emotionally, be there for you, to support you, and also spiritually. That's a huge thing that people don't even think about. Like water Mars signs, like it's a spiritual thing as well. Anything with water is a spiritual thing, so consider that. Okay, now to have your Mars in a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, this is fierceness and courageousness. This is the person jumping off the waterfall first. This is the person going skydiving. Like, this is the one, okay? This is the one that is just full of adventure and like wants to live their life to the fullest and is so courageous. And we definitely need this energy in the world. Like, if there weren't no courageous people, then we'd all be scared to do everything. But y'all with these fire sign Mars, like you just go first and you do anything that you want to do, and it's very, very inspiring to other people who are scared, you know, to like act like me. Hashtag water Mars. So you're really great at pushing boundaries that nobody else ever has, going above and beyond to become a leader. That's so important to you. Like, you're a natural leader, and that's why you know that you have to take the first step, you have to take the risks in order to say, I've done this, we can come, like, let's bring my people, like, it's safe, let's go. You know, that's all you're trying to do as a Mars in fire sign. You have this deep inner knowing, your deep inner intuition like tells you what to do, and like you really listen. Like, I feel like Mars fire signs and Mars water signs really need to learn from each other for real, because it's very inspiring to see someone just so courageous, like to do anything and to just get up and go and do that, whereas others of us like take it slow and like not as quick, things like that. So just know that you're not like the others. Now, the goal for y'all, for the Mars fire signs, is to be seen, is to be heard, is to be recognized. Y'all really actually want that recognition. You want to be recognized as a leader. You want people to actually follow you because you have trusted yourself. You have this inner light. You know where you're going. Your masculine energy is on 1,000%, and you just feel like, let's do this. So for the fire sign, what you're sexually attracted to is somebody who gives you a lot of like words of affirmation, who shows up and like shows out, who really goes by their word, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do this for you, and then they actually do it. It's like, oh yes. So if you're a woman, that's what you're naturally attracted to. And if you're a man, this is how you are naturally. Like, you're really more of a dominant kind of personality. Someone say like an alpha male. That would probably be more of a Mars and a fire sign, because y'all have so much ambition, so much charisma to you. And yeah, a really great fiery personality. Okay, so lastly, if you have your Mars in an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, y'all, why am I shy all of a sudden? Like, is my twin flame out there? Come on, come through, yo. Mars in an earth sign, they are so powerful. They are physically powerful, physically attractive, like big muscles, tight body, like cares about their body, right? This is important, especially if you do have your Mars in an earth sign and you're not taking care of your body. That's the number one thing that you need to be concerned with, because this is how you really will feel about yourself. This is your armor. Like, let's be real, this is your armor. And if your armor is crumbling, you don't feel good to fight. You don't feel good to do things. You don't feel good to get up in the morning and like focus. So you have to take care of your body first and foremost, like 100%, if you have your Mars in an earth sign. I don't know who needed to hear that because I was like, isn't this obvious? But it might not be. It might not be very obvious, but check your chart. Your body is key now, key. You're gonna have a lot of stamina physically over other people. You will have a lot more power physically over other people. And you're really good at using your senses, like your sensuality, taste, touch, smell, like all those things you love, but you can also use them to your benefit when you're working on things, especially if you're tapping into, you know, if you're opening a restaurant, say for example, you can tap in not just to the food, but how the menu looks, how the atmosphere feels, all of those different things. A Mars in Earth sign has a lot of benefit when it comes to that. Your sensuality is enhanced here, unlike any of the other signs. And you're more of a benefit because we're on the planet Earth. Okay, let's be real here. You kind of have the upper hand over anybody. I'm talking about like this is the energy of Toph. Yeah, like that you could be Toph, okay? If you have your Mars in Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, you could be Toph right now, okay? That doesn't mean you have to be like a lonely old haggard, but you have the stamina and the power to prevail over anybody and to build foundations. That's a huge thing. It's like building actual physical foundations, building a business, building a home, working with your hands is super beneficial to you if you have Mars and Earth sign. So just make sure that you're eating really healthy too, because the goal for Mars and Earth sign is going to be money. It's going to be finances. It's going to be wealth. It's going to be riches. Obtaining these things makes you very satisfied and makes your Mars very happy because you're going to feel stable and secure and you're going to be well fed. Okay, let's talk about that. You're going to be well fed. That's why you need to make these things happen for yourself so that you're in a position where you feel confident in your body and in your Mars sign. Now, if you are a woman, you will be physically attracted to a man who is physically built, baby. Like, oh, that's why I was blushing, because I'm telling you, men with like really nice chiseled bodies. God, I don't even have my Mars in an Earth sign, but I'm telling you, baby, I'm a double Earth anyway, you know, sun and rising, so I get a little sight. But you'll definitely be attracted to a man who makes a lot of money, who is stable and secure, and who has a good fit, healthy body. And if you're a man, this is how you naturally exude your masculine energy, is through being a hustler, a go-getter, someone who works with his hands, someone who is strong, someone who feels powerful in their body first and foremost. Like, even if you're not super intelligent, you know that your body is fit and that you're healthy and that you still have that power over anybody at any time. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to this video. It's a little bit different than the other ones. I like to spice it up. You never know what's coming. Hashtag Uranus in the first house. You never know what's coming from me. So stay tuned. Make sure to like and subscribe and become part of this family. Hit the bell notification, and I will see you in the next one.